Two entities once beloved by me that keeps cranking out movies despite diminishing returns. Amy Adams and Disney. Let's talk about Disenchanted. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new movie Disenchanted. This is on Disney Plus right now, and it is a sequel to the 2007 movie Enchanted. So we're 15 years on now, and most of the gang is back. Amy Adams, Patrick Demsey, James Marsden, Idina Menzel, and a lot of newcomers to the party as well, including Maya Rudolph, Yvette Nicole Brown, and a few others, Jamma Mays from the old Glee days. But before we launch into this movie, I want to welcome you to Dan Reviews It. Thanks for finding my video. I've got a ton of great stuff on the channel for you to check out, and I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button down there, and even the notification bell too. That's always good to get all the notifications of when I put new reviews up. So let's talk about this movie, Disenchanted. So I mentioned kind of up the top, that Amy Adams and Disney, both hitting a bit of a slump lately, to be completely honest. And Amy Adams, man, I was a huge supporter from, way back when. And I guess Enchanted is one of the first things I saw her in. But, Doubt came out right around that time, which I believe she got Oscar nominated for. And then she did The Muppets and, a whole host of amazing movies, American Hustle and the Arrival. So I put a lot of stock in Amy Adams, and the last, 4 movies at least have just not been very good. I think maybe a C+ was the highest one that I gave it, but she did Hillbilly Elegy for Netflix, and another Netflix movie. It was so bad. It was like the woman in the window or something. So I gave that like a D. And then same with Disney. Look, my grades for Disney movies have not been that bad, but I feel like we had another Disney renaissance at the beginning sort of the decade, the end of the last decade, with it kind of was starting around the time of Enchanted. But then you had, Meet the Robinsons, which was really fun. And then they got into like the heavy hitters, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, the Frozen movies, that kind of stuff. But the last few Disney movies have been subpar. They keep sort of remaking their old animated movies into live action, and that can be hit or miss. But the last couple have not been good. The Pinocchio they did earlier this year wasn't so great. Their animated film for the holidays, Strange World, is not that great. So Encanto, it's got a great soundtrack, but I gave it like a B-, which for Disney is not great. I feel like, okay, why not? Let's release Disenchanted, right? In a different universe, I'm sure this would have gone to theaters, or maybe they wouldn't have made it at all, because this has been in the works for a long, long time. But now that Disney Plus can just put things on their streaming service and crank out sort of whatever they want as often as they want, that they can just do things that maybe would have previously gone by the wayside or been like a Disney Channel original kind of a thing. But here, look, Amy Adams is in good form here. I'll give her that. She is delightful, and it was interesting because I think it was James Marsden that said, if we're going to do this movie, we need to do it soon because we're supposed to be, princes and princesses that never age. And, now we're more than 10 years on here. I think we've all aged a bit. And speaking of James Marsden, he was part of Hairspray when they did the musical version of that. And the same director, Adam Shankman, who did Hairspray, is assuming the director's chair here. He did not direct the first one. I don't think he had anything to do with the first one. So we've got a new director here. But despite that, I think there's, theme-wise, I think there's a lot of similarities. I think he tried to stay fairly close to the original. But here's the thing. The original was such a groundbreaking movie in terms of Disney sort of poking fun at itself, in terms of storytelling, in terms of taking Disney in a bit of a new direction. They were getting really stale there in the early 2000s, Home on the Range and all these kind of bad movies. And then they sort of fell into the live action stuff. They did the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and then they did the Narnia movies. But only the first one in those series is really that good. And then the rest is sort of bloated again. 3-hour epics were, it just wasn't that good. I mean, I guess the second Pirates movie is also okay, but so this was, a huge step in the right direction in terms of storytelling for Disney, and just, Amy Adams was an up and coming star, and she was just wonderful in this. But 15 years on, a lot of the magic is really gone. And if anything, this movie reminds us how good the first one is. Now, I haven't seen the first one in a while, probably at least 10 years, but I loved it. I gave it either an A or an A minus, upon original watch, and it's probably an A realistically, looking back, because everything was so good about it. And there's the songs here are all right. They have a grown child now, the characters do, and so she's doing the teen thing, and so Amy Adams' character, essentially, it's a parable or a metaphor for the whole wicked stepmother trope, from the earliest days of Disney animated features. So I can appreciate sort of what direction they were trying to take it in. Amy Adams really is doing a great job, and the songs are okay. I don't think there's any that are huge standouts. They did give Idina Menzel a huge, showstopper. I will say there's like a showdown scene that song's probably the best in the movie, and that was some fun choreography and stuff. And Maya Rudolph, doing her thing. She's fine, but did she necessarily bring anything incredible to the table here? No, not really. So this movie actually was quite disappointing. I was looking forward to it, but given the recent track record of Disney Plus movies, I'm not surprised that it gets turned out like a Disney Channel original back in the day. And look, I'm not slighting Disney Channel originals. In the 90s, they were all the rage, and obviously in the early 2000s, High School Musical and all that kind of stuff, and Camp Rock, and I get it. I'm not trying to slight them, but I think there's a reason they were on Disney Channel instead of in a theater. The budget is smaller. It's on everything's on a little bit of a smaller scale. Like, for example, the CGI here was not that great. It's okay, but not that great. So, this was disappointing for sure. I love that first movie so much, and this one serves as a reminder of, that lightning in a bottle that is hard to catch a second time, especially so many years later. They actually did it with Hocus Pocus. The first Hocus Pocus I actually didn't really like that much, but the second one I thought was better. This one, complete opposite direction. I give Disenchanted a C minus. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see everybody next time on Damn Reviews It. Bye.